All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 199. It is approximately 8:26 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Now, yes, guys, it has been quite a long time since we have done one of these live streams, and I just want to say I sincerely apologize for not having these live streams. Just a lot of stuff came up pretty quickly, and there were some things I obviously had to take care of. But I am glad to now um, actually have the streams back in order, and you know, oh, that's why. So, but I just want to say, guys, welcome back to the stream. Um, And I just want to say again, I do sincerely apologize for the lack of streams and all that other stuff, but we are back now. So a couple of things are definitely coming up. I do want to apologize. Wow, April 16th was the last one. So we haven't had one of these since 2 months ago. So that's wow. Who would have thought? But we are back here tonight, and we're here to have a live stream again. College really caught up to me pretty quickly, and I've been seeking some sort of summer internship, but I won't get into further details about that. But so hello, Elevators of Steel City, and hello, Mad Mike Sports and Entertainment. Yes, the 200 stream coming up, and yes, I know there's a lot of store closings, but no really major closings at the moment that are significant and like a video like has to be made. There are some two King Cullens shutting down. I did see that, but really nothing significant is currently being announced. But I do want to say that we do have a lot coming up. Obviously, we have a bunch of videos queued, and I did want to talk about Roosevelt Field. Yes, Roosevelt Field is still happening. We've just had a couple of setbacks, unfortunately. Today was supposed to be the day, but there was a whole setback, unfortunately, today. But that will be that. There will be a day. That will be what's it called? That will be next week. I can't say the day. I have to wait for the details to be finalized. But I can say it will be. I promise it will be next week. We just had a really big setback this week, unfortunately. Just things came up, and I had to take care of other things right here in New Jersey, unfortunately. And they are matters that had to be taken care of. So that's why I needed to address those first before addressing this. So, so artwork. Okay, so like in front of the anchor spot, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to fill. I mean, not the Lord and Taylor, but more so the Nordstrom. That's a lot of anchor space that has to be filled. And as for the Lord and Taylor, I could very well see Shoppers Find expanding to that mall. It's the right mall for it too. That and I think Westfield South Shore I think are two good candidates for what's it called for Shoppers Find. The Westfield South Shore Mall in Bayshore, New York, along with the Freehold Raceway Mall in Freehold, New Jersey. They could do a Shoppers Find in Rockaway, but it's not. I don't think it's not the right area for one. They put one in Paramus, which was surprising. So they did that. I guess they wanted to see how the one at Willowbrook did, and I guess the Willowbrook did numbers, and then Hilco decided to do Paramus too. I guess, which I guess makes sense. And for logistical operations, it makes sense too because they're both I think about 20 minutes apart. So. Oh, later this summer. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's definitely a cool experience, but I haven't been to American Dream in a long time, so it would. It would. The AMC at Nordstrom and Freehold would work. I just don't know if AMC would dump their freestanding location to be in the mall. The only thing I could see happening is if AMC really decides to go in there, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, given that the food court is on the second floor. so people could kind of grab something quick in the food court and then head over to the AMC. I mean, I think that's about the only decent reuse of the Nordstrom space. But and then too, I could very well see shoppers find going to the Lord and Taylor store. Sears, they're supposed to be putting in round one, but there's that whole dispute with iPlay America. So that's unfortunately Freehold Raceway Mall is going to face that problem. Cinemark is another idea. I just don't know if Cinemark would be. I think it because I think too because AMC is already within the Freehold Raceway property. To put two movie theaters within the same property is not a good thing. So AMC would have to close their freestanding location out in the parking lot, and they would have to move into the mall, which I guess would make sense, and it would actually bring some much needed traffic to the mall, or in particular to that area of the mall where the former Nordstrom store stood. I still can't believe it was right around this time 2 years ago that the store had closed permanently. It's still very sad because that was a really nice Nordstrom, and personally, I myself I wish I had gotten to know that Nordstrom store a lot better, but unfortunately, that was not the case. It was also a very far drive, and it was about an hour away from me. So it was kind of hard to get to know a Nordstrom store, especially one that's about an hour away from you. And it wasn't the closest one. It wasn't like a childhood one. It's not like it was 15 minutes outside my door. Or it wasn't in the same township, which made it hard to see that store. I'm glad I saw it. Don't get me wrong. I'm also glad too I got to see every elevator in the mall except for Sears. I think that was a pretty cool treat. Oh, I know Monmouth Mall is screwed. I think Penny's is supposed to be closing at some point. Monmouth is definitely well, actually, no. Brunswick will crap the bed before Monmouth does. But yeah, I mean, I remember well, I mean, come on. I mean, the one good thing about our Nordstrom in New Jersey is our Nordstrom at Westfield Garden State Plaza has one of the best Nordstrom HMs in the state. And honestly, as for the tri-state area, out of all the other Nordstroms in the tri-state area, Paramus hands down takes the cake for atrium, which I know is something doesn't matter nowadays because nowadays it's just about how much revenue. It's not really about the quality and what the and store architecture looks like. But man, Nordstrom really did a bang up job on that atrium, and that's what I like too. The openness of the atrium. It makes the store attractive and appealing. Yeah, 80% occupation is a good thing. The problem is gonna the problems are gonna start to come when the anchors crap the bed. And that Macy's is a neighborhood store. It's vulnerable and it could potentially close. If Macy's Monmouth Mall went down the tubes, I'd say yeah, that's the end of that mall. But Brunswick Square unfortunately is gonna suffer the fate where Macy's is gonna close and then Penny's is gonna close, and Penny's is gonna say, oh yeah, we got a store in Freehold, Woodbridge, and Monmouth, and then north of that we have a store, or south of that we have a store. South of that we have a store at Freehold. Southeast of that store, we have a store at Monmouth Mall, and northwest of that, we have a store at Woodbridge Center. Um, well, and the other thing too, the significance behind Nordstrom being at Freehold was it was the only Nordstrom, number one, the only Nordstrom in Monmouth County, the closest one after the next closest one south after Menlo Park. And that's what really put Freehold Raceway Mall on the map. Because at the time when they were building Freehold in the 1990s, you had the Monmouth Mall, you had Seaview Square, you had Brunswick Square, so you had a lot of other malls. But Nordstrom being at that mall is the reason why the mall is the way it is today. The mall is not the mall would not be the way it is today without Nordstrom. Nordstrom was an important piece of the mall's history, which is significant of why they closed it, because that was the number one attraction at that mall, Nordstrom. And it was the only Nordstrom in Monmouth County, because now people, let's say they live south of there, they got to drive all the way to Cherry Hill for a Nordstrom, or they got to drive 30 minutes up to Nordstrom at Menlo Park, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, sometimes people like being close, and it's, the people they know work there. So, but overall, it was sad. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I was glad I was able to go in there with. Hang on 1 second. Look, at the end of the day, what I am most happy about is the fact that I was able to go in there around 2 years ago. It was towards the end of July. Yeah, it was very hard to even go in there. But I was still able to go in there, ride the elevators, wearing one of these inside the store because at the time face masks were required. Um, but it was a good experience overall. I mean, they were very limited entrance, but I think it was really nice to walk through the store. It was sad though because they were literally just selling the store fixtures. But I'm glad they had it open for 10 days to the general public. I was really afraid it wasn't going to open up again. But yeah, so that's basically it for Nordstrom Freehold. Did the Nordstrom at Menlo Park receive a renovation? I believe so, or actually, I don't know. All I know is that one they downsized. They downsized that one from 3 floors down to 2 floors. And that was only because the restaurant was on the 2nd floor, so they were able to get away with something like that. So, but yeah. Gotta move something out real quick. Medical facility, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I know. 3 is for employees. Yeah, I agree. But iPlay America would although some competition is I guess friendly competition is a good thing, But I hope they settle something with iPlay America. I 100% agree. They need to settle something with them. Yes, somehow Sears is still around. Although last month they announced over 100, just under 100 Sears hometown locations are closing there. I made a bunch of videos on that. Somehow we still have 3 Kmarts left in the mainland United States and 6 of them on United States territories. To me, it's amazing we still have 9. The most recent closure was Avenel, and that was back in spring of 22. But I don't think they're going to make it to the end of the year at this point. So, and out of all the 9 Kmarts that are left, only one of them is multiple stories, which is in Puerto Rico, believe it or not. It was supposed to, but then I guess they changed the plans. Hold on, I got to move something, guys. I'll be right back. Whoop. Okay. I know. They say that Sears is the longest going out of business sale in the country. So, yes, I have been to Connecticut once for elevators. I think one of my relatives had a conference. I think it was in Greenwich, Connecticut. So I was able to see some elevators there. Oh, your week's going terrible? Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. So, a lot of people on here tonight. By the way, the new Disney Pixar Lightyear movie came out. I don't know if anyone saw it yet, but I heard it's supposed to be really good. And me being I've seen all 4 Toy Stories, so I'm definitely going to try and go see it. At some point, I would like to go see it. I just don't know when I'm going to go see it. But my week's been pretty good. I've been proactively looking for internships. I've just been doing everything I can. So. Yeah, I know. It Lightyear. Well, they began showings tonight, and it comes out like to the general public tomorrow. Tonight's kind of the preview night, so yeah, I definitely want to see Lightyear too for sure. So I think King Cullen is closing some stores. I lost track of CVS. I know Rite Aid is probably closing some stores. I don't know what's SB3. I wonder what SB360 is up to. Capital Partners. Fala's still the same stuff. I wonder what Hilco's up to. They typically put up. I wonder what their case studies are. Toys R Us is a case study. That's funny. Wow, they even did J.C. Penney as a case study. Huh. That's interesting that they would do that, Hilco. Hilco, Hilco, Hilco. You'll never disappoint me. Yeah, I don't have any family in Waterbury, but it's a good suggestion for sure. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I know. Time really flies. It's crazy to think that time really flies. Yes. I'm not going to answer that, but yes, Toys R Us is the worst example of a case study. Well, a lot of that too was private equity firms, and the people working there didn't get their severance packages, and then they did a bunch of protests. They actually, believe it or not, when Toys R Us was completely going out of business, um, they actually did a in-store protest. It was in Union Township, New Jersey, at a Toys R Us. I'm surprised they didn't do it in Wayne because I think that would have been more appropriate. But they had actually Toys R Us employees from across the globe gathered and they protest because they wanted benefits and none of them got severance pay, which is unfortunate. But it's that's what lovely private equity firms do. When the company goes bad, they just run away with the cash and the employees get screwed. The problem is, see, the thing is, Toys R Us in the vision of business is a recognizable name and a recognizable brand. What that means is a private equity firm is, if they see the brand being valuable, they're going to come in and they're going to give money to that brand to see if they could hopefully breathe life into the brand and, to bring it back. The problem with Toys R Us was you had the competition from Amazon, which I was a big contributing factor to Toys R Us's downfall, and you had Walmart, Target, and not just and it's not just Walmart and Target that were going for the toy companies and they were slashing their prices. You also had the wholesale clubs selling toys too, like BJ's, Sam's Club, Costco. So there was a lot of different competitors that were literally eating up Toys R Us's competition. And that ultimately led into the downfall of Toys R Us not upkeeping their stores. Thus, the private equity firms ran away with the money, and the employees got absolutely nothing except an in-store protest and maybe 2 minutes of fame in the media. I know. Unfortunately, online is the future. As much as I don't like to say it, it's becoming more and more of the future. It's sad too because it is fun to go see the retail experience. I definitely have fun doing it, but a lot of people like convenience, which we all know what's convenient. I mean, if anyone doesn't know what Amazon is in here, I think you're living under a rock. I mean, it's just the future, unfortunately. And Sears could have been that future if Sears had looked more into the online thing and they had replaced their stores as warehouses. And we wouldn't have an Amazon; it would still be Sears. Oh, okay. I guess it's nice to see you back. Yeah, I'm assuming you're from Long Island. Yeah, I'm supposed to be going out there on this sometime at some point at some point next week. Apparently, I heard Nordstrom. Apparently, I heard they're modernizing the Nordstrom elevators. So no N word here, unfortunately. I know, and they should have, but the problem was back in the '90s, they were still doing well, and they didn't want to venture into the internet. But had they known Amazon, it would have not been a pretty picture. I mean, Kmart is basically done at this point. Think about it: 6 stores off the mainland United States and 3 stores on the mainland, and all the 3 stores in the mainland United States are basically all on the East Coast. One all the way down in Miami, and two in the New York area. One in Westwood, and the other in Bridgehampton. Yeah, and then I think Kohl's backed off, which is smart because that would have actually endangered J.C. Penney. So I am glad that Kohl's is looking at a buyout from another company. At least then it keeps J.C. Penney kicking for a little bit. Kohl's definitely would have been a huge contributing factor to the downfall of J.C. Penney. It would have went the way Sears went. So at least that was a good thing. Well, the only way to do that is to go fly out to Guam, the Virgin Islands, or come all the way to the East Coast. Go to Miami or go to the New York area. There's not too many Kmart options left. There's no Kmart's left on the West Coast. The last one to close on the West Coast was in Grass Valley, and the last one to close in the mountain region of the United States was in Hamilton, Montana, which is very sad with all those closures. Hamilton closed at the same time as Key West did, and now the only Kmart left in Florida is Miami. And all the stores are up for lease. Yeah, apparently, according to what I Hate Escalators said, he spoke to one of the techs and he said that Kone is completely modernizing them, which kind of makes sense because apparently they're running really, really slow. I wish Schindler would do a 6400 NA, which is really like if they did that in gold, I would actually appreciate those calves. But yeah, Schindler, the Kone is supposed to be going in and completely and doing that. So. Yeah, and Grass Valley Kmart is supposed to be yeah, they're supposed to be doing something with the Target supposed to be moving in there. And actually Macy's went in too and did Bloomingdale Short Hills. Remember that beautiful white cab and then so they basically pulled the Roosevelt Field White Plains. Except they didn't put the black and white tile down, which is disappointing to some extent. They basically did what they did with White Plains, kind of made it look the same. It's I like to call it a Schindler Rupp or a Thyssen Schindler because it's still a Thyssen Krupp, but it's in a Schindler cab body, which is a very weird choice. And honestly, there was really nothing wrong with the cab. I mean, the cab wasn't run down or anything. I don't know why they went ahead and completely redid the cab, which it's disappointing that they redid that one because that was the nicest elevator in the mall. Like that was Bloomingdale's in his prime. Like if they had done that cab in both Short Hills, Willowbrook, Riverside, and Bridgewater, I would have been amazed. But disappointing, very disappointing. Um, Schindler completely modernized the cab. It's still a Thyssen Krupp, except the indicator's no longer on the top and the indicator's on the right side. I mean, it's not a bad job. I just wish it didn't look like something you would see in a Macy's. At least Bloomingdale's Riverside, that one they did a phenomenal. They did an absolutely beautiful job modernizing that. But Short Hills is an absolute disappointment for sure, which is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So. I'm not surprised. Floor and Decor is a very common replacement tenant, so I'm not surprised. Yes, it'll be 200. Yeah. The only way that Kmart in Bridgehampton will go out of business is if Target offers them an offer they can't resist or Eddie can't resist. Sears in Newburgh too. They're really trying to get involved with the community. They tried to put a U-Haul there, it didn't work. So the only way for that Sears to shut down is Ocean's Job State Lot or a Gabe's would have to go there in order for Sears to pull the plug there. I'm not surprised. Children's Place isn't exactly popular. I think they have one at Paramus Park. Yeah, Paramus Park and Bergen Town Center makes sense. No reason to have three in the same area. But I think the Children's Place at Bergen Town is an outlet, and I think the one at Paramus Park is a regular store. Yeah. So. No, I'm going to be going next week, not this week. Oh. Really? You didn't have your phone with you? Why? There was an Otis Lexan that needed to go. Or no, not really. But I'm sure it was running downhill. Yeah, that should have been a Schindler. They should have done a Schindler with Mad BS. Berkshire Mall. I'm guessing Boscov switched their elevator contract to Kone, which is a shame. But I guess it's always the cheapest bidder. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, there's four Sears stores left in California. Jersey, we only have one left, and in Jersey City. I'm not sure. I think they're supposed to be opening up a store this year. I'm not too sure about Boscov's. Yeah, at least the freight was left untouched for sure. These comments are coming in a minute late. I do apologize because this is through the StreamYard platform building. If Hudson's Bay were to buy Kohl's, that would be the end of Saks. Kohl's is a lot more valuable than Saks Fifth Avenue. If Hudson's Bay Company were to get Kohl's, say goodbye to Saks Fifth Avenue, or Saks, or they sell Saks to somebody else, and then or they pull a Latote, they sell it to Latote, and then another unprecedented pandemic comes on, and then that's the end of Saks. No, um, but I think if Hudson's Bay Company were to get Kohl's, I think Saks would be history. The department store division of it, at least, because they wouldn't hold on to that. What sucks what sucks is that a lot of a lot of schools came to Knott's. Our bus arrived 1 hour late, and we had bus number one, and I only went on. Oh yeah, that sucks. And Swazi, that reminds me of another story when I was living on the Fairleigh Dickinson University Florham campus in Madison, New Jersey. So we had a trip planned to the Museum of Metropolitan Art. Now, mind you, this was before COVID, before all the lockdowns and everything was, hitting the ceiling fan. You see how I'm using the logic there? Um, but what happened was the actual bus came all the way from, now think about this. It was a first student bus, came all the way from Bergen County to come to Morris County to take us into New York City. Well, the bus got completely lost, and we had very little time at the Museum of Metropolitan of Art, and it was terrible. And then we had to rush out of there for some honor students to have dinner. So it was like just a terrible situation. But an even worse situation, another trip I took in New York City. I think it was my sophomore or junior year of high school. Oh no, sophomore, definitely sophomore year of high school. So we had a trip to the Museum of Natural History. Well, the bus had gotten there late, couldn't go over the George Washington Bridge for God only knows what reason. And what happened was we had gotten to the museum, and after we got to the museum they were like, well, what do we really have time for? And then we had booked two things, so we literally went to the Museum of Natural History, saw zero exhibits, and we had to quickly walk through it, had lunch, we literally saw two movies, and got back on a bus. Didn't even see any exhibits because we had to get back. It was literally a shit show on ice, and I don't mean to use language, but that's how I describe that day. Sometimes you just get one of those days where things just don't go as planned. So, but that's my story. Yeah, no more Sears left on Long Island. Massapequa shut down October 3rd. And I had actually spoken to, I think it was one of the guys that used to work there on, I think it was Reddit. And he told me that, yeah, October 3rd was the last day. So no more Sears stores on Long Island, unfortunately. Only one left that's close enough to New York City is actually in Jersey City. No, Saks Fifth Avenue will not be meeting the same fate as Transform Co. Eddie Lampert, no. Eddie will not buy Kohl's. He's already in the spotlight for ruining Sears and Kmart. I can't imagine that they would trust Eddie Lampert with Kohl's. He already ruined two of America's most iconic retailers. Sure, if that's what you really want to do with that Boscov's freight at Berkshire Mall. Yes, 5 years ago, Toys R Us went out of business. Has it been 5 years? No, more like 4 years. Because Toys R Us crapped the bed in 2018, so it would be 2022. The parking structure was no longer. They weren't upkeeping the maintenance of the parking structure, and it needed to be knocked down. Not enough demand for a parking structure there. I wonder something. I really, really wonder something. I wonder if round one is still going to Nanuet. They're supposed to be doing one at Smith Haven. No, I guess they canceled Nanuet. Hmm. Wow. And we still don't have a round one in New Jersey. The closest one is in Hicksville, believe it or not. Hicksville, and there's one at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Danbury Fair is supposed. Okay, so they're probably going in the lower level of Sears, I would imagine. I can't imagine where else they would go in that mall. It feels pretty good to be up to about 200 streams. Point Pleasant, yeah, that's Point Pleasant. That's off exit 98 on the Parkway, right around where Freehold is. Cracker Barrel. I actually, it's TBPR 17. It's really funny that you bring that up because on Monday I actually went back to Cracker. I went to Cracker Barrel in Mount Arlington off of 80 on exit 30, and I had some really good mom's pancake breakfast. It's such a, I don't know, it's such good comfort breakfast food. I don't know why, but I love going there. I love the general store. Love everything about Cracker Barrel versus IHOP. Yes, I know. Almost 5 years. Actually, no, 4 years on that one. I hope Newport Center, Sears, and Westwood Kmart are the last to close so that NJ can make history. I was hoping it would be Avenel. A lot of that's going to ride on whatever happens in the next couple of months. Oh, in about 11 months? Yeah. The last time I was at a Cracker Barrel before that, I think was back in 2021 when I was traveling out to Hershey, Pennsylvania, which I'm supposed to be going to hopefully soon. If it's not gonna be next week, it'll probably be the day after 4th of July. But that's that, I guess. So. Hmm. Not anytime soon. They put up new signs, so no, I don't think the Shoppers Find is closing anytime soon. Oh, good. Yeah, it's a wonderful theme park. Six Flags is not great, but I love Hershey Park. Hello, Ultra Eric. How are you? Uh, yeah, they're not closing. They put up permanent signs. The only thing I will say is they're not. They didn't paint over the Lord and Taylor scribble, which I think just looks very cheap. And they said, "Oh yeah, let's just be slap the Shoppers Find sign on the Lord and Taylor. No one will notice." But yeah, people notice. Oh, that's right. You live in California. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, I heard Wayfair is doing a flagship store, King of Prussia. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. So, They used JCPenney used to have an exterior entrance at Westfield Garden State Plaza, but they actually enclosed it. And it's funny you bring that up because they're doing a Nerf Extreme thing there, and they're doing a Play-Doh Play School thing. They're trying to really get some entertainment in there, which is smart. Which is something I wish Roosevelt Field would try and do. The movie theater's nice and all, but it has to stand out from the pack. Oh, good. I'm glad you're able to see all the freight elevators. Yeah, I know. Hershey Park is so much better. Speaking of Lord and Taylor and all their other spaces last occupied Lord and Taylor, they were supposed to do Saks Works, but it looks like the cracks are starting to fall for Saks Works. It seems. It seems they're only going to be doing a couple of Saks Works. It was, but yeah, they had a really weird concept, and then I think it fell through. They're still doing the one at the they're still doing the one in Westchester, so that's not off the table. But the Saks at oh man, the Saks Works at Hudson Manhasset is off the table. It seems. It seems that has been canceled. The one in Garden City, some insurance companies expected to be moving into that one, and the Lord and Taylor in Paramus became a Shoppers Find at Westfield Garden State, and then the other Lord and Taylor in Paramus right now, I believe, is a vaccination center. Westfield, the Lord and Taylor there is supposed to be knocked down. The Bridgewater's remaining untouched for now. Rockaway remaining untouched. Livingston definitely remaining untouched. As a matter of fact, they might just knock down the whole store along with the mall. Saks office, Stanford Town Center is getting replaced with a food hall. Well, it's about time they do something smart with that. Hopefully, it'll be nice to finally have a food court because Taubman did not like food courts, so it's nice to finally see they're getting a food court there. And the AMC Theater is still open, but it has an empty Sears. Well, they'll replace that pretty quickly. Montclair Place. No, not Montclair, New Jersey. I guess Montclair Place is a mall out in California. 1970s Montgomery's. Oh, yeah, those are fun. But, anyways. Yes, I know. I know. They're going to be at Green Acres and they're going to be at Roosevelt Field. So, yeah. Well, that's good, I guess. Simon right now owns Taubman. I don't know what else is being what they're waiting for, but Simon really does need to finish the closing on the merge with Taubman. Westfield, we don't know yet who's buying Westfield, although Westfield seems to be selling properties slowly. I'm not sure. I mean, Shoppers Find is pretty new to Paramus, so it depends on how long Hilco wants to operate it. No, unfortunately not. Which is a good thing because it's still that perfectly preserved ANS. So I hope it doesn't get renovated. If they're gonna renovate any Macy's in Paramus, we know which one it is already. It's just a no brainer. Even if they decide to close, which Macy's? Oh, Scorch, how are you, man? Supposed to be going to Roosevelt Field soon, hopefully. Okay, well, do what you want to do, I guess. Only Sears closures are the hometowns right now. No other Sears or Kmart related store closures at the moment. Yep, all Simon Malls out there. Simon has a lot of properties, and they have they have a lot of capital. That's for sure. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, once Simon gets Short Hills, so the second they get Short Hills, they're gonna make the announcement that they're gonna sell Livingston. I mean, it's a no brainer. Which of the two is better? Look at the mall at Short Hills anchor and store lineup, and look at Livingston's store and anchor lineup. It's a no brainer of which one Simon's going to take over. Yeah, Paramus Park is really trying to compete. Brookfield is really trying to compete. I mean, Brookfield has so much competition on their hands. They have the Shops Riverside by Simon Property Group, Bergen Town Center by Urban Edge, Westfield Garden State Plaza, and American Dream. So Paramus Park has to really compete. So I think so. I mean, they're trying to keep them open, but it's the Sears name that destroys them, unfortunately. I think a lot of it has to do with safety in the buildings. I think that, and it's a lot of they want to keep the tenants safe, and I get it. I get it. They're just trying to keep their tenants safe, and it's hard to really film in there unless you absolutely have like an appointment, and even then, it's you potentially run into the risk of having that encounter. Encounters can happen, and you just have to be ready for it. But I try to avoid any buildings with high security. It's just buildings with high security, in my opinion, it unfortunately doesn't become worth my time. I have to close that because it's getting late now, so I just want to close that because the sun has gone down for the night. But I try to avoid any buildings with high security because then if they ask you to sign in, they ask you, who are you here to see on what floor? And most of the time with elevators with high security in those buildings are typically nothing special. So I just try to avoid them altogether. It's not worth talking to a security guard for 20 minutes when he's going to give you a no and he's going to ask you to leave. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. Brookfield sold. Wait, what else did Brookfield? Oh, what else did Brookfield sell? Hmm. I'm surprised they dumped Bridgewater. But they interestingly enough still own Staten Island Mall. I guess they shifted their focus to warehouses. That's about my only guess. So they just own Paramus Park and Willowbrook Mall. Wow. I'm surprised they sold Woodbridge Center, but I guess management changed and they wanted to shift their focus. So that could be part of it too. They could be moving away from malls too, which I could even see Simon picking up Bridgewater if they really wanted it, which they might. I know. I'm surprised they dumped Woodbridge Center. I don't think Nintendo will open up a second location. I doubt it. 16 are still in operation. Sears 9 Kmart's left. Yeah, I was surprised Brookfield dumped Woodbridge, but I guess management changes and they just don't see Woodbridge as being valuable, or they are shifting to industrial and office buildings. That could be it too. Yeah. Well, Livingston is a dump. Yeah, Broadway Commons is in trouble for sure. The only thing that's keeping that mall going is the IKEA and the Target, and even then, that's not enough to save the mall. No, they won't. Macy's won't close Westfield Garden State and not Woodbridge. The most vulnerable Macy's stores right now in New Jersey are Livingston, which is not getting renewed. Hamilton Mall, look at the location; it's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And what's another Macy's? I think that's it. Livingston and Hamilton. I can't. Oh, and Brunswick Square, if y'all want to throw that out there. Unless Monmouth Mall does a lot worse numbers than Brunswick, but I doubt it. Yeah, Woodbridge Center does numbers. Well, have fun. No, Macy's would want to stay at Cherry Hill. The Moorestown Mall, no, they would not stay there. That's why they closed that one because of Cherry Hill. Oh, you're going to MetLife Stadium? Okay, have fun. Yep, and the only Boscovs in the New York area. That's right. Yeah, I'm surprised. I guess maybe they see it as like they like the modern twist on the mall. Who knows? Um, well, Quaker Bridge it has the only Apple store in Mercer County, so that mall is good for now, and they still have a pretty decent Macy's and a pretty decent Penny's. Now that Apple is opening a new location in East Rutherford, which surrounding stores are in danger? I think if I know Apple is making that move, yes, they're opening up an American Dream on the second level of the mall, right across the way from Zara. I think Apple would dump Tice's Corner. It's the last oldest store in the fleet, and it's a small store, so I could see them dumping that store. It's a very old store, and I think it's a little too close to Nanuet, and I think it would be more spaced out evenly. Monmouth Mall, yeah, I guess technically. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, it's the lease that's going to be, it's ultimately going to be up to whatever lease is expiring, or they get a new tenant in that spot, and then they close the store. So there's not too many Kones at Quaker Bridge. There's only one Kone in the mall. Okay, take care. Every Sears and Kmart are vulnerable. They're all up for lease at this point. So they're going to be both at Green Acres and Roosevelt Field. Both. They're going to have it there at both properties. I still can't believe they replaced that cab though. The Bloomingdale's at Roosevelt Field. Uh, oh well, I guess. At least they kept the elevator and well, I mean, Short Hills did get modded by ThyssenKrupp. I still think 10 years is still a little early, but I guess they wanted to keep it up with standards. Who knows? Almost entirely Kone, except for the parts of the mall not built by 555. They kept the Fujitex, which run absolutely beautiful. I'm happy. I am very happy they preserved the Fujitex because that's literally the best part about the mall is the fact that they have several banks of Fujitex throughout American Dream. Um, they did, and then whatever parts of 555 built were Kone. I think I'm starting to think too the Kone in Saks that was 555. But there's still a good mix. Like you got the Hydrofit and Zara, you got the Schindler, I guess, technically speaking, in the oh god, what is it? Hermes. You have the not the Schindler, not the you have the 330As at the Legoland and the Aquarium. Oh, I know. The new cab sucks. I like the old cab much better. I agree with you on that. Yes, Simon has the capital to do it and the investment. The thing with Simon is you have to look at their portfolio and you have to look at how many malls they own. And that's why I say too that Simon is more likely to buy Westfield over Brookfield. Brookfield has more of a mix between office buildings, industrial, while Simon is a pretty focused uh, property group that is very focused on malls and A malls for that matter. Because basically it's whoever buys the lease. So no, it would be a Schindler 6400 NA. That's what they would do. So, but anyways, I have not been to Green Acres yet, and I don't plan on going. The mall is really nothing special. It's quite possible if Simon wants to expand their presence. Right now, the only decent mall that Simon owns in New Jersey is Menlo Park. So Simon would really have some significant growth in New Jersey because they would get control of they would gain control of Westfield Garden State. They would probably do a renovation and they would gain control of what else would they gain control of? They would gain control of what is Short Hills. So nope, that was Hudson. That was all Hudson's Bay. That was all Hudson's Bay who made that decision. That wasn't even Simon. But they wanted to bring it up to modern day standards, I guess. But I think the paint job was bad. But I guess it went along with the store renovation they did. So, anyways, that's basically it. I can't think what is the. Oh yeah, the center court elevator is good. South Shore, probably I don't even know. That's a tough one because Simon wouldn't pick that up because that would monopolize Smith Haven, Whitman, and Roosevelt Field. Yeah, Simon will pick it up, and I still think they would keep the Florida Mall. It would complement the Florida Mall for sure. So, but the Forbes also owns it, or Forbes sells their 50% to Simon, which they could very well do. So they could very well do that. Oh yeah, for sure. The Mills at Jersey Gardens definitely is the second most uh, profitable for sure, or the most profitable in the state, with Menlo Park being number two, and probably Riverside being number three, and Gulfster Premium Outlets being number four. Yeah, I know, I know. Well, Westfield South Shore is a lot stronger than Sunrise for sure. It's the stronger Westfield property. I'm not surprised. Target has the capital and the money to do it. Hello, good evening, College Station Elevators. How are you? Um, so no, he's still in charge of Sears. Still in charge of Sears, sadly. Yep, basically on Long Island. Yeah, it would have, because Macy's would have pulled the plug. Oh yeah, yeah. American Dream is in trouble financially too, but I think they'll be able to survive. They're bringing in a lot of different entertainment things, so they're really trying to make it like an entertainment place. So, all right, so guys, I think we're gonna go for another 5 minutes, and then I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. Do I get Mr. Softy? Sometimes we have an ice cream truck happening there. The Maltosaurus, don't really have any thoughts on that. I know they're supposed to be making it some kind of entertainment thing, kind of like what they're doing with American Dream, except the Long Island version of it. City Creek Mall. Oh, okay. That's in Salt. Like sounds like that's in Salt Lake City. So, oh, I agree 100%. Woodbridge Center has a wonderful choice of elevators. It's a shame that Sears and Lord and Taylor had to go, but yeah, elevator choice, Woodbridge Center definitely takes the cake, hands down. I just don't go there often enough. It's a very nice mall, and I wish I had spent more time there. But again, it's not my local mall. No, I don't know about Tri County Mall. I'm not very familiar with the Cincinnati, Ohio area. So, but anyways, guys, I think we're actually gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Take care and have a good night.